What is your will, my master?
Hey, this is for a demo for a customer that wishes to remain private, but I want to go. We'll just get right into the saber, right? This is a custom Origin V1 lightsaber that was heavily customized by my buddy Carl over at Valhalla. And you may have seen this on his page. For those of you guys that follow him on Facebook, if you don't, go check him out because he does amazing work. Um, this went up for auction. Obviously, the guy bought it, sent it to me, and I installed it. It's installed with a Proffie V2. But before we get into the build, it comes with this shroud, but then it also comes with an extra shroud, which is very nice. And it's just interchangeable, right? So both of these obviously would be going with a saber. Um, Carl also sends these out. It is basically a certificate for your saber, and then it also acknowledges that that Carl made this pattern for this particular saber, and it will never be used again. So that certificate will also be going with your saber as well. He did a lot of um, first there's etching, obviously, right? But then he went with some white and blue, um, some enamel paint, some black enamel as well, and then he did all the gold leafing on here. So as he mentioned in his post, it was very fragile, right? So the first thing I did, I actually got this yesterday. First thing I did was I broke it down, I brought it out to the garage, and I put about 3 coats of clear coat on it. So it's a lot better now. You can handle it a lot more. This is still, a shelf queen. This is just a display piece, but you can handle it, and you shouldn't have any flaking on you or anything like that. Okay. This is a 2-button setup. So what I did on these V1s is I go in here and I drill these holes out just a tad so that I can press fit these little dome tactile switches on here. So you've got a dome tactile here. You've got another one right here. These are offset from each other. So one is down here and one is up here a little bit. The one that's closest to the emitter, right here, this is going to be your activation. And then the one that is closest to the handle down here, that's going to be your auxiliary. You don't have to press them hard. It just takes a slight press with your fingernail or something. You can almost hear that, hopefully, that click. So you just press it like that and it activates. Okay. I did glue these in. They are a press fit in, but I do like to mention that you don't have to go mashing on these guys. It just takes a little bit to get that clicky click and you're good to go. All right. So what you want to do to get to everything is you want to open it from the handle. So we'll just unscrew the handle. And then what I did here is I gave you a clear resin chassis for this guy so that I could light it up with some LED strips here. You've got an 8-pixel strip here. You've got another one right here that you could see right through the chassis, but then it lights it up really cool. 28 millimeter Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker. This does have a removable battery, right? So spring side over here. Because you're overseas, I won't be sending a battery with this guy. So you'll need to source that, which I think that you have plenty anyway. Then of course your Proffie board's up here, easy access to your micro USB, but it will need to be popped up to get to your SD card, and it is slightly adhesed down to the shelf because I don't do a press fit when it comes to resin because I don't want to stress the resin and then accidentally crack it. So I do use just a little bit of adhesion to hold it in place, but it can pop up if you need it to. I did get the sound fonts on here that you wanted though. We got 5 sound fonts on here. These are all from KSIF, and we'll go over those when we fire up the saber. Um, there are some designs on this chassis. They aren't going to pick up on my camera. My camera sucks. I'm thinking about upgrading here in the future, but for now, I'm doing what I can. But when you get this in person, you'll be able to see what I did to the chassis there. Okay, so let's throw a battery in this guy, and then we'll do some demo with the handle off, and then we'll throw the handle back on.
Destroy the Sith. We must.
So the battery will snap into place and will hold nice and tight in there, and you can see what the chassis is doing on both sides when it's off. And of course you got motion controls. And it does a little bit something different, you know, when it's off compared to when it's on. And then it does react to the auxiliary being pressed. If I can find it, there it is. And each one of these will do a little something different.
Master window.
So you got a fast scroll on purple when the saber's on, purple blade. So you can cycle through all of those and know that the chassis will do a little bit something different every time it switches to a different sound font. Okay, but for now we'll just throw the handle on. And then of course once we've got this screwed down, your blade retention is this knob right here. So you don't need an Allen key for this. You can just back this up out of the blade socket. And we'll do that right now. We'll throw a blade in it. This does take a 1-inch diameter NeoPixel blade. Throw it in and lock it down. And then this time we'll just come over here and we'll use the activation switch. So good flash on cloud. Just tapping for blaster bolt deflex. If you want blade lockup, you'll need to hold down the auxiliary and hit the saber at the same time. Just like that. And you got your blade lockup about right here. You can see the difference in my hand, right? Right here.
Final steps.
To get to your soundtracks on each one, just hold down power for 1 second and let go. And then do the same thing to turn on. Hold down power for 1 second and let go.
Are you a Jedi? I am.
Basie Fawn's Rescue.
That lightsaber was Luke's.
Blue goes really well with this saber because there's so many blue accents on it.
Master Yoda.
And then I think we're back to the beginning because there's 5, right? So this is Yoda. Just like that. And then we'll go ahead and we'll take the blade out and just go over taking the battery out, which is really easy to do, right? So again, we'll want to come over here and unscrew the handle from the positive side of the battery, which is over here by the speaker. You should be able to pop the battery out with your finger just like that. And that is basically your custom Grandmaster by Carl Danby. Let me know if you got any questions, and if not, this guy will go out in the mail to you tomorrow. All right, thanks.